been a premier partner doing implementations in the Mid-Atlantic area with Express. I wanted to introduce Wally Marks. He's one of our lead demo professionals. We've been working with him on several other ones. And with that, I'd like to kick it off to Wally.
All right, great. Thanks, everybody. This is Wally Marks with ServiceNow. Chris, I do have a couple of in-source slides here if you wanted to go through them. Otherwise, we can pass through that. It's up to you.
Yep. This is just a quick letting you know that we've been around for 15 years. We've got a lot of positive awards from the community in the area, and that kind of tells our story in a nutshell. And with that, we can probably jump on into the ease of use and what's making everything work well with Express and why that's been a good solution for people.
All right, great. Well, thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Wally Marks. I'm a solution consultant. As Chris mentioned, I'm located out in the San Diego area. I've been with ServiceNow for 5 years, and it's my pleasure to be able to talk to you today about ServiceNow Express. It's the first time we've ever introduced a new product. We launched it a few months ago. And I've been on the project since day one, and I'm really proud of this product. And I lead a team of people who do demos and work with customers on a regular basis to talk about the product and in pre-sales and post-sales. And I'm really thrilled and excited about all the different uses and all the success we've had with the product. So what I'm going to do today is take you through a couple slides, and then we're going to get in the product, and I'm going to demo. Two things. Number one, our office here in San Diego is located near Miramar Air Force Base, where our proud fighting Marines are regularly running jet practice runs, and they zoom right over our office and over the ocean. Today's a particularly active day. In fact, I'm looking out the window right now. I can see a couple of Osprey aircraft coming over. We'll probably have some helicopters, and we've had a lot of FA-18s. So I might just pause at a certain point while those machines go over, and I hope, I apologize for that interruption. Secondly, I'd like to invite any questions you might have. Please just type those either into the Q&A tool or the chat tool, and Chris is going to interrupt me at any point during this talk, and I'd love to answer your questions. Throw it at me. I'm happy to play a little game of Stump the Chump, and let's make it interesting. So, moving forward here, I'm going to talk to you for just a minute about who ServiceNow is. We are the enterprise IT cloud company. We, over the past, we're about a 10-year-old company. I'd say we've been on market about 8 years. And in that time, we've really taken over the space. And I would happily, stand by that claim in front of any of our competitors. I believe that, you can see based on our growth, both in customers, employees, and revenue, that we are clearly leading the space for not just IT service management, but service management in general for the enterprise. And that's a new theme we have in 2015, because as you'll see, we can use this tool for more than IT. We can use it to run facilities. We can use it for HR. In our mind, a request is a request. And yes, we have to have certain processes and tools behind each area, and there are specializations. But you'll see that ServiceNow is something that can be configured and is malleable enough to handle a lot of different types of work. And in fact, some of these numbers are a little out of date. We have more customers than that, and we're well over 3,000 employees right now. If you have any more questions on that, you can go to our corporate website. What we've seen in the last number of years is that demand for services, be it IT or any other service throughout the enterprise, is doing nothing but grow. And I know all of you as IT or service professionals know that you are getting more and more demands every day. Businesses are run on technology. There's no getting around it anymore. Managing and servicing that technology, be it, your applications, networks and resources, or, just trying to manage all the devices you've got in the house, whether they're yours or people are bringing them in, requires a totally new system. You better be a robust system, and you want it to be configurable and something that will match the way you work, not the other way around. And that's what ServiceNow Express is. You know, when we started building this tool, we looked out in the market and saw there were a number of different challenges that we wanted to address. Number one was request management, whether it's for IT requests or otherwise. So many people we talk to, especially in the small to medium business size space, are running their request management on email. They don't have a lot of automation, whether it's be for creation of requests or routing and assigning requests. A lot of manual tracking, and frankly, reporting was just non-existent. So we're having a hard time gathering the request, managing the request, and reporting. So if you can't report on your business, you have a hard time being able to grow, manage, understand where your expenses are, where you want to cut, where you want to ask for more funding, and things of that nature. So this tool addresses all this and more, and it's a highly configurable tool, as I was mentioning before. For IT service management, ServiceNow Express offers the core service applications that you want to run your IT business. And we're talking about incident management, along with both problem and change management, as well as being able to create a service catalog and offer automated request systems to your end user. As well, the whole thing is underpinned with a CMDB, configuration management database, which is where you're keeping and tracking and working with your assets. And there's much more. The things that are built into our platform, which are all those small blue boxes below, really make this system a total package. It's, the ability to report on any part of the system, the ability to take, send and receive email and track all that activity, knowledge base that's built right into the tool, and I'm going to show you how we can use that. Survey tools, automated approvals, a mobile app, and the ability to integrate with an open REST API. We looked at what customers wanted. We talked to a lot of customers. We built a number of iterations of this tool. And again, I really think that we're offering a full package here. Just a few other details. The licensing is a click wrap contract. It's a subscription service on an annual basis. We have complete documentation and user forums. So when we get in that post-sale area and time frame, you'll have a lot of resources to be able to access when you're setting up your system. The infrastructure is something worth mentioning. So let me take a second here. ServiceNow has dedicated and invested a huge amount of time, resources, and money into our infrastructure. If you're a cloud company like we are, what do you have to do? You have to be available and you have to be secure. That's it. Otherwise, you really don't have a business. And you're going to run into a lot of companies out there who are not a cloud company. They'll want you to be on-premise, or they're an on-premise company and say, oh, yeah, we can do cloud. ServiceNow was born in the cloud. We boast, at least, we have a very high rate of availability. Officially, what we say is 99.8, but really what it is 99.99 or more. Sometimes, we actually get into the 5 nines area of availability. No planned maintenance. People ask us what our planned maintenance is. We don't have that, because when we do maintenance on the system, we move over to a different data center, because our high availability, what we call AHA, is actually meaning that your system and your data is running concurrently in 2 data centers. Should one data center go down, you're immediately operational on the other data center. If we have to do planned maintenance, same type of thing. Really, it's a unique system. It leads IT, it leads service management. If we have charts that show us against companies like Salesforce or companies like, other cloud companies. Our availability is higher. The number of data centers we have is higher. Our downtime is far lower. So that's why I wanted to pause there and talk to you about our infrastructure. We do have dedicated, yeah.
Yeah, Wally, it's Chris. I just wanted to hop in here, and this is something we're consistently seeing and getting feedback from our clients is when it goes from version to version, typically a couple of a year, it's a completely different model that what most people have experienced with, very large or even smaller help desk or full ITSM solutions. And that goes towards the ease of managing the application itself and how it supports the clients without having to do very much lifting it all on the client end.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought that up, and especially with Express, because Express is configured, meaning you use the tools that are in the product to make your changes. It's not customized, and such, it makes it a simple proposition to move from one version to another. Like right now, we're migrating. We're going to be in the next couple months migrating all our Express customers from Eureka, which was our last release, to Fuji, and we expect it to be seamless. Also, for Express customers, when you find that there may come a time when you want to move from Express to our enterprise product, and that is also a seamless flick of the switch migration as well. We spend a lot of time working on that, and as Chris mentioned, it's a fundamentally different process than other vendors. And it's also, as I mentioned, people ask, "What's your downtime for maintenance?" We don't really have it, and so it's that type of thing. It's that different. And then last thing here, services, packaged services available. Should you want to do some extensive build out of your tool, or maybe you don't have the resources at the time, we do have a highly trained services team to help you get your tool exactly where you want it to be. All right, let's take a look. This is the exciting part. I stop talking here and jump over. So, folks, you're going to see me do a couple things here. I'm going to go between different roles in the system, as an end user or as an admin, et cetera. And I'm going to show you different parts of the system as well, different viewpoints. And to do that, I'm going to use Google Chrome, I'm going to use Firefox, I'm going to use Safari, and I'm going to use an iPhone simulator. And I'm doing this because it helps me demo. It helps me show you the different parts of the tool. But it also shows you how well we work with different browsers. I'm on a Mac today. It's going to work the same on PC or any other system. And here's the basis. As long as your people, your end users, or anybody on your system has access to the internet and can use one of these browsers, they're going to have access to ServiceNow. Nothing is going to go on the desktop. We're not downloading any software. We're not installing anything on anybody's machine. It's all browser-based. So here we are. We are in the an admin portal for this tool. This is really where we get kind of nuts and bolts and where we can set up the system. As you can see, we've got these boxes here on the screen here, and really what these are just representations and links into the system to allow you to come in. Maybe you want to access some documentation that we have right in here in the system. Easy, quick start stuff like, how do we, get our logo on here? How do I change the login page? How do I get started with, REST APIs and things like that? A lot of the basic information is right here in the tool. And then we can start coming in and doing a number of different things. Now, for demonstration purposes, we're going to pretend that the system is already set up. I'm not going to take you through right now at the front end on how to set it up, because who wants to see that first? Let's see the good stuff. Let's see this thing work. So we've taken a few moments here, but let's look at the end product. Now, what do we want? We want an IT request system such that we can get email out of the way. Now, some people are always going to want to use email. We can cut down on our phone calls, and we can start routing and managing work in a much more regulated fashion. So what we've done here is packaged an end user portal out of box. So this is the type of thing you can set up within the first couple of days of when you have the system. what we've got here is an end user portal with some very basic service catalog items on them that are going to allow people to come in and do a number of different things. And really, what you want to do is have them be able to make a request. So they can come in. Right now, I'm logged in as a guy named Joe Employee. No system access credentials except to get to this portal. And Joe Employee has an issue, and he wants to, let me reload this because I am impersonating Joe Employee, which is something I can do as an admin. So Joe Employee's got a problem. He's going to create an incident, come right in here and say, hey, you know what? I'm having a problem with email. Email is not working for me. And then he's going to put another note in here and say, hurry, I am a busy executive. Nice that he's saying it here rather than yelling at you over the phone. He's going to submit that, and there we go. We've got an incident ticket in the system here. I'm going to press Command-Shift-3 on my Mac here, and I just took a screenshot. And what that allows Joe Employee to do is drag a screenshot over. And he's going to say, I attached a screenshot for, just for proof or something like that. Maybe he's a little edgy today. And we're just going to update that. And now that screenshot and that incident are in the system. And it's as easy as that. And what you're going to see are some emails are going to start coming into me because we've set it up such that whenever an incident ticket gets created, a number of things can happen. First off, the admin's going to know about it. Secondly, anybody who's assigned to the email team will know about it, and we can send out that notification. We can also send out notification via our phones. And so, I as a admin will have an app here that's going to allow me to see all the new incidents in the system here. Now, Joe's hasn't come through here yet, which is fine. It takes a minute to get through different firewalls. But, just a demonstration to you that we can come in and see this information. And we can see all the tickets that are coming through. We can work tickets if we want to. You can have this for your end users, or maybe you just want it for your IT team. But again, a configurable mobile app that is HTML5 and will work with Android and iPhone, as well as tablet. And you can give this to all your people, and all of a sudden, bang, you have them working, the system and doing their work on a remote basis. So that was putting in an incident issue. Pretty easy. And it wasn't that hard to set that up. In fact, that came, create an incident came out of box. There's other things like, maybe he wants his password reset. Now, people ask, is that automated password reset? It's not. But at least now you have a one way for people to come in and request a password and need my password rather than emailing you. So it is a way in your system to have, specific work routed to specific people. It's the same type of thing with, performance problems or reporting outages. And I can create different forms like this for different reasons for different people to access. Now, let me log out as Joe Employee and log in as Annabelle. And Annabelle is on the HR team. And now just a very simple example of how we can handle other requests outside of IT. Under Get Help again, you can see I've got this same list, create an incident, emergency change, employee onboard. I created this for a customer who wanted to see this in a proof of concept. Wally, can you put a form together where my HR people can come in and request a new employee record? I said, absolutely. And they said, we want to be able to see the first name, we want to be able to see the last name, we want the employee title, sales, and then we want employee salary. But that's got to be confidential, and only Annabelle and other people in the system will be able to see that. I said, no problem. And we want to do employee ID and employee location, which we want to be able to pull up off of a choice list. And that's what we did. And now we submit that, and you can see even right here, all we have is a record that ticket went in the system. Nobody can see that confidential information. Now, if we pop back and go into our admin, we're going to be able to see the new open incidents here, and we've got our new employee on board with all that information that we wanted to see. Oops, I actually I created a different field or form here, but I'll show you how easy it is to start adding some of those start adding some of those fields right on here by going to form design. So maybe we want certain people to be able to see, the first name of the person, and we're going to add that under here. Actually, we'll put it right in here, and then we'll want to see last name, and then we'll want to see salary. Let's get that on here, and we'll put that under here. So I'm going to save that. I'm demonstrating to you how easy it is to change a form. A lot of people I talk to say, I have to call support to get a new field on the form. Is that the same here? I said, absolutely not. You can create forms, you can create templates, you can do a lot of different things, and you can have it access controlled. So let me just go here and what do I want to do? I want to reload the form, and you'll see down here, right here, I've got it. There's first name, last name, and that salary right there. I could create a different section. I could do it a little more elegantly if I had more time. But you can see we've got that information right there. Now let me pop over here to Firefox and take a look at incidents. I'm Jane Tech here, and Jane only has, IT roles. She can only see a certain things, certain requests. Let's see what she can see here in this instance. So there's Annabelle with her new employee on board. It's going to come to Jane, and you can see all she can see is the first name and the last name. She can't see that salary because we were able to take that field and put a restriction on it and just say, I only want admins and HR people to be able to see that field. So just demonstrating to you folks some of the capabilities we have there. It took me a little bit off course here in terms of what I wanted to demo, but I thought that was a good thing to show you in the moment there. Again, please throw any questions you want. Let's take a look at some of the emails that have come through. So here we go. Incident has been assigned to group service desk. So very basic, but I was able to send an email out about this password reset. Hey, it's assigned to you. Here's the email one. And we've got an email here that's going to show us what the problem is. We're going to be able to pop back and go right into the ticket, that type of thing, and see that. Now, the emails that come back to the requester, which is Joe Employee, are similar, but have a little bit different functionality. As you can see, here's that email. Here's our notes from him. Here's what's going on here. He also can get back in and look at the ticket, but he can also reply. And the system's going to know exactly who's sending that email because we've already got that information in the system here. And I'm just going to go in here and any status update, question mark. And that's going to go right into the ticket and going to go right into the actual work notes of that ticket. And that'll come back in a minute. We'll work that ticket in a moment.
Wally, just a real quick one. When I'm seeing that picture of the iPhone in there, where this really impacts managers and folks who are actually doing a lot of the work, being able to clear tickets that easily on your phone or tablet or phablet really reduces the amount of escalations and really helps, hit those SLAs. It just makes it a lot easier for everyone to do their job. And it's until you actually, play with a system that actually works this easily, it's tough to get sometimes. But it definitely will reduce the amount of escalations and the management folks having to clear tickets, at 10 o'clock at night.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? We can do, you can clear tickets on here. You can also do approvals as well, which is great because, you're in a certain, position within the company. Maybe you're the director, maybe you're running IT. People are asking approvals all the time. And, once you get something like, Joe Employee comes in and says, I need a new sales laptop, and I want PowerPoint and Acrobat on there. And he goes in and he just orders it right now. Now, that's in the system. But what also has happened is we've gone through an approval because this is over $1,000. We set up an approval in the system such that, anything that's over $1,000 is going to go to the admin. It's going to go to the approving manager. It could go to procurement as well. When we've got something like a high cost approval here, this is how we set it up. Anytime we get a request and the price is greater than $1,000, we want it to go to the manager, and that could be dynamic, as well as a procurement group. And we can set up other things like that, you know. Maybe we want to add certain people on there or whatnot. But the point is that, you know, it's the same type of thing you were talking about, Chris. These approvals are going to come through on the phone here, and we're going to be able to come in and say, you know, I do approve Joe employee's, you know, laptop. I think that's good. Here's the one for Annabelle. I did that as Annabelle. I was logged in as Annabelle. So you can see right away, right here, I've got that approval, and I can take a look at that and say, what does she want? Oh, the system admin has to approve. Let's look at the approval here. Looks like she wants that. I can come right back and come on here and just say, yeah, that looks fine. I'm going to approve that, and I'm going to approve Joe employees too. You can see how much work you get done right on the phone here. Not going to pile up for you.
Yeah, I mean, anything you read from Gartner, Forrester, McKinsey, whoever, I mean, every year people are going to be doing more work on the various devices. So, you know, if you're thinking about something sometime in the near future, you want to definitely make sure it's easy to use.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do we have any other questions come through there, Chris?
Christina, can you see from your end? I'm viewing from everyone else's perspective too.
I have one from Brett Ockberg. Does ServiceNow Express expose the API for use? If so, what functions are available via the API?
Yeah, absolutely. Good question, Brett. Let's take a look at that really quickly. We do expose the REST API. And the way it functions right now is that we are able to, you know, a third-party tool or an API can push information into the ServiceNow system and pull out of the ServiceNow system. Express does not push. Express does not pull at this time. So that's the way it's put together. And so we've got full documentation on that API. We have all the information you're going to need to come in and do things like update a record, create, get, those types of things. And you'll also be able to get into the statistics as well. And we've got that information right in the tool, as well as full REST documentation on our site there as well. Brett, did that answer your question? And you can just chat in there if you want to. Let me look at that. I'm going to go to QA here. Good, great, thank you. And let's get back to the tool there. Any other questions?
Are there any demo sites available for Express?
Yes, and you guys will send that out right after this call. That you can get in and demo the system. Okay. So
that's actually, we get a lot of feedback, and ServiceNow, they get a tremendous amount of people demoing the systems, which kind of speaks to the demand for it. But it's a great way to show the technology and let everyone play around with it. It's open for everyone, and we'll get those links out to you.
Cool. I have another question here from Brett, and that question is, how complex can approvals be configured to be? I am thinking about complex branching. The way we have ServiceNow Express set up, you can put approvals in, for any stepped process. We are going to be introducing linear sequential approvals. In terms of branching, I think that we would want to probably have a side conversation and understand exactly what you're doing, because we could theoretically use business rules that would say, once this status is changed on a ticket or on a form, send that again for another approval. So, it would just be a matter of sitting down and getting those requirements. Fairly confident that we could be able to handle some pretty complex approvals, but want to see more. And what about another question, what we have here, what about SLA timer reminders, such as in the full ServiceNow product? Absolutely. we have SLAs in the tool here, and I can pull it up for you here. We have SLA management. That can be based off of calendars. Here's a basic one, just a P1 SLA. You see we've got our escalation intervals below here, and we can create that for under different conditions. We can use a calendar, and we can add other conditions. So you can say pause conditions when the state is something, like this, and we can say, when keywords are, something like this, when it's from a certain campus or caller or things like that. So we can set up some pretty, robust SLAs, including calendars. We've had customers in education who said, I want to be able to change calendars, and go on like a December calendar where our SLAs are different because we're on holiday. We can do that. People have asked, can I set up a calendar for, different time zones? We can do that. We have a customer that has a UK SLA calendar. And so, this is a demo system, so I've very little built out there, but you have the ability to come in and take care of that and do that type of thing.
And so, Wally, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, this is all, right out of the box. You don't need any scripting. There's no coding. It's all about, if you have the process down, via drop-down boxes, and it's very simple to configure this based on your business needs.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody asked if I was going to demo business rules. I'm not going to go too far into that right now. We do run different demos throughout the month on Express. I think we've got a business rule one coming in the next couple of weeks here. But what we can do is, business rules are the type of thing that, you specify when we're going to run it. So when the incident is closed, I want the state, set to awaiting problem, and we'll take an action there. Things like this. So it's, again, the type of thing where we have a filter, and what we do is create the conditions based on a table, and we can create business rules off of any table. So when I'm, look for this one, when I'm in the incident table, which means, I've got an incident record, we're making changes and updates to the incident table. When the caller is not empty and the company is empty, what I want to happen is the company to be the same as the caller company. So if somebody hasn't filled that in and I go to update that record, we're going to reach into the system, find the caller record, and add the company name to the incident form. That's a very basic example. We can get pretty complex with the business rules, and that allows us to do, really extend a lot of the functionality outside of the system. Angela, let me know if that was a decent explanation for you. And Brett, does ServiceNow Express support time tracking and reporting? It absolutely does. One of my favorite parts of this tool is reporting. And we have a huge amount of reports that come out of box, which I really appreciate, because these are either things that I can, use right away, or that I could maybe modify for my own uses instead of looking at building these things from the beginning. You really don't need a lot of training or any training at all to use ServiceNow reports. What you get is the ability to create a report here with very intuitive functionality here. I'll say, you know what, I want a pie chart. I want to work off of incident table. I want to group by. I want to see active incidents and then some filter locations, and I want to say, I want to group by location, actually. So show me all the open incidents by location, and let's run that report. So there we go. I've got a report immediately of all my incidents by location, and I can drill right into that report and see the actual tickets. And you know what? Maybe I want to make another report off of this one, and so I will say, give me a bar chart of all these incidents by category. I can pull that if I want to. I can save it, or I could, just take that picture, throw it in an email if I want to, or I can open this up, say, here's that bar chart of test, and I want to schedule this. So I could do a couple of things. I could save it so I come back to it later. I could make it a gauge so anybody could have it on their home pages. I could add it to my home page here in the system, or I could schedule this and say I want a regular report of the scheduled execution bar chart of test, and I want to go, I want it to go to me. And I'll just say, send this to Wally. Am I even in my own system here? I should be. I'm not. I'm terrible to myself. But make sure this goes to Jane and say, weekly report. And here we go. It's going to go to her on a weekly basis. I want it Monday, 7 a.m. That's going to go to her. I'm going to say test, report, that kind of thing. So now that's submitted. That's in. You see how easy it is for me to create reports like that. Now, back to what Brett was asking about. Can we do time tracking and performance? Yeah, we can do things exactly like that. So maybe I want to come to, here's a canned report. And I'll say, hey, here's my average incident resolution time by category. And that's, because I can do time tracking a number of different ways on my incident tickets. I can do it such that I can see the overall time it took. I can see, I can break it down by people. We can put a list at the bottom of our incident tickets that will show every person who's touched that ticket and how much time they spent on that ticket and break it down. And I can make reports like this, my incident resolution time by category. And I can also do this by, maybe I want to do it by assigned to, which is the person who's assigned to that. Let me run that, and now I can see the people who these incidents were assigned to. Now, that's me kind of riffing off an out-of-box report in the tool. You can imagine, you can go pretty far if you spend, a couple hours on this and start setting up some reports not just on these types of things. We can set reports on changes if you use change management. We can do configuration items. Maybe we want configuration item status. So we've got installed here, in stock, empty, those types of things. And we can do incident problem change by computer, class of CMDB. It's, again, reporting is built into the platform. And so, if you think of the platform as a tabletop and all our applications as, columns or tubes sticking up from that tabletop, from the platform we can reach up into all that data and really give you a clear view of what's going on in your system. And as you saw, you can save it, you can create, put it on somebody's homepage, and you can do things like send it out and have it emailed out on a regular basis.
Hey, Wally, could you speak just real briefly the differences between a gauge and publishing and how that helps people?
Yeah, so publishing would make it available in the reporting section for anybody, and a gauge would make it available so people could put it on their own home pages. And Brett, the actual time card capabilities in the enterprise product are not available in the Express product. However, it's worth a conversation to say what are your specific requirements, and could we build something like that here in Express? So we can do that on another call, and I'm sure Chris would be happy to get your requirements.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Great questions, Brett. Great questions, Angela. And if anybody else has any, please just chime in and let me know what you're thinking and what's going on here. So let me get back to my demonstration here and show you a couple more things here. Now, a lot of times people say, hey, Wally, this portal is awesome, but everybody in my company uses email and I can't get them off of it. I understand that. It's a transition. It takes a little time. But you know what happens? When people start seeing the value of a portal like this, they come to it a lot more, obviously. And, if it's something that they can access on their phone, which we're going to give to them, that helps too. So, the ability for us to offer a lot of different things here in terms of, how to make requests, the ability to order items, across your entire, business. And then other things like, how about we put a knowledge base up here? So many people I talk to at so many companies, I ask them, do you have a knowledge base? Well, yeah, we want to, or we started it, or we have one, nobody uses it, those types of things. This knowledge base here has a number of great things going for it. It's built into the platform so you can create knowledge from closed incidents. Also, you can make any role, have the ability to create a knowledge article which means you can put more in here than just break fix things. Maybe you want to put in policies from HR, and that's going to drive people. One great driver is, what's the holiday schedule for the year? Oh, well, look on the knowledge base; it's on there. Phenomenal. So you can get that kind of information out. We can get general things and troubleshooting and FAQs in here. It makes it something that people really want to use. Now, that's not it. And that's not all. We can go and add homepage content very easily. So, maybe I also want to show people a ticker of company news. People ask me for that all the time. Hey, can we put latest, outage news on here and stuff like that? Say, absolutely. So, when email's down, you just put it in the make a knowledge article, put it in a specific category, and it'll go right to the news ticker. And, I didn't really blow this one out, but we've got that type of thing here. We can also add other gauges and information here out of our service catalog. Maybe we want to say give people the ability to order hardware, that type of thing. We can do something like employee onboarding. Let me just add a couple things here just to show you how easy it is to do this. And say incident knowledge. What else do I want to put on here? Change request. Now, I like staying in the business services here. So standard changes, tablets, printers. People are always asking about printers. I got a problem with that. So there's that type of thing. And so we can very easily just, make those changes, come over here and, bang, they're in production that fast and that easily. So, just something I wanted to show you that makes a portal, an IT service or a service management portal, it turns it into a destination. And people want to come here. They know they're going to get their information. They know they can check the status of what they've got in the system. Hey, what's going on with my sales laptop? Oh, sweet, it got approved. I should have it within a day or two here. That type of thing. And again, I'm showing you an out-of-box system here that has very few changes, updates. It's got demo data in it, but that's about it. You can take this as far as you want to. Let's look at a couple other things here. But you know what? First, before I do that, I am going to check my Q&A. Looks like we're doing pretty well here. Throw questions at me if you want to. Let's go to Firefox here and see what life is like for Jane Tech. Now, Jane works the desk. It could be the support desk, could be a call center, whatnot. We can make her life a lot easier in a number of different ways here. Now, what we're looking at is a pretty gray, boring screen here, but it's got a lot of power. My group's unassigned incidents, so it's going to show her everything for her team here in a list view, incidents requiring my attention, that type of thing. We can, spruce this page up a little bit and allow her to add gauges herself. So maybe she wants to see incidents by location. We can put that on the page. And incidents by category, can put that on the page as well. And then maybe, we want for change requests, we want to see a change calendar, put that at the bottom of the page. So we actually allow her and the end user to have a heck of a lot of autonomy over their own homepage. Now, certainly, you can require a few things to be on the homepage, but, you don't have to. So let's run a couple of scenarios here. Jane's got a number of different things going on. Maybe we say to her, hey, you know what? We've got a lot of incidents in this category of inquiry help. So she can drill right into that ticket there and say, oh, okay, let's look at a few of these. First, I want to look at it by priority, and we can just group it or sort it by priority. Show me what I got here, say group by priority, that type of thing. Let's go back to our category inquiry help. Here's one. I think I'll assign that to myself. I'm showing you list editing right now. Very easy in the tool here. Maybe I want to, assign a number of these to a certain assignment group, and we'll say, all these need to go to the email team, and that should come up here. So maybe assignment group. Let's just do a different one here. So only hardware, software. Now I can change all 4 rows there. Fun stuff. I could create reports again and things like that. One thing I haven't shown you is a new feature called the Visual Task Board. It's a whole new way of working, and it really is proving to be super popular with a lot of teams. And really, it's the way that a lot of groups are actually starting to do all their work. And so I'm going to filter out a few things. So now we only have priority 1 and 2 tickets here. And what I want to see is a view of all these incidents by state. And let's just look at it by state. And what I'm going to do is click up here on the column here and create a visual task board. Now, you can see a totally graphic, totally new way of working. And what this allows me to do is see everything that I'm working on and move it around. You know, maybe I say, hey, this password reset, that's actually active. This outage is awaiting user information. I want to see all the activity that's coming on. And you can see the two things I just moved around. The state was changed, and just now I can see that information here. So maybe can't log into SAP, that's resolved. That's going to show up on there. You can see that updated itself. And I can come in here and drill in and say, you know, I need help on this, you know, escalate or something like that. And we can have that information get put in here. And so maybe, you know, this is assigned to David Liu, this email issue. And so now maybe we want to assign this to Bo instead. And, oh, maybe they wouldn't let me do that because oh, it's right, I'm logged in as Jane Tech. If I was logged in as an admin, I'd be able to pull these assignments around and do a lot of other different things on here. For right now, maybe I just want to work the ticket. I can come in here and, you know, create information on this ticket if I want to. I can also use something like a live feed and say, you know, hey, anybody else working on something like this? And a live feed actually is another new feature in the tool here. It's a very social tool that allows the team to talk to each other. I could actually have it open to customers as well, but it's really creating work notes and being able to put it into you know, a group conversation. Now, this was instance by state. That's a great board to look at, but there's other, you know, we can make a task board across a system for pretty much anything we want to. So we've got incidents by priority here, and I can look at all my, you know, this is the way I can sort my work. So maybe I come in, and a lot of people do this at our customers. This is what they look at first thing in the morning. You know, I've got critical, high, moderate, email not working. I'm going to put that in low. These are all assigned to me, and I can just start working on them. I can edit them. I can bring other people in and you know, get a lot of other information together and really just start working these tickets right here in a totally different mode. Any questions on that? That is out-of-box functionality for this tool. So let's see, a couple other things I want to show. We've got about 10 minutes left in the hour here. We have the ability to come in and, as I mentioned, work our tickets and get exactly what we need out of the information here. Let's go to the newest tickets we have. We can see we've got Joe Employee with his password reset. And we can do a couple of things here while we're working the ticket. Well, first off, I can find out exactly who Joe Employee is because our user database and our user records are in the platform and integrated right into incident management. So I can see who he is. Further, I can see the incidents that he's opened in the recent past. No, actually, I can see all the incidents he's ever opened, and that allows me to understand who he is, what he does, and if he's having a problem with a specific area. You know, if he's got, you know, a dozen tickets in here that say my password's gone, maybe we need to talk to him and give him a little training, or maybe he's got an actual issue with one of the pieces of software we have to him. Now, speaking of that, we've got a problem here with email. Email isn't just one thing. It's not just the software. It's the server. It's the system. It's the network. It's a lot of other things. So it's actually a business service. And now by being able to see the business service record, we can see who the owner is, and it's Jared Bennett. I'm going to copy his name here because I want to put him in the watch list. And I want to make sure that he gets notifications on this incident. I want him to know we've got a problem there. Now, while I'm here, I'm also going to open up a business service map that allows me to see my network. Now, when we populate our CMDB and I have our assets in here, we can create relationships and build things like a business service in there that'll allow us to see where the issues are and where we're having a problem. And we can have a business service exposed to anybody we want to, such that they can see where they've got an issue. So, we can see we have a problem with the business service email, and where we're having the actual problem is with this Exchange server right here. We can jump right into that record. If I had this record built out, we could have things like, how old it is. And what we already know here, when it was installed, we can see when the last maintenance was, when the lease was running out, who's responsible for this, all types of things like that, and be able to very easily come in and, get a really great picture of what's going on. And you can see that that wasn't the product crashing. That was actually Firefox crashing, which, I'm having a little bit of problem with my Mac. I think I might have a virus. So, as I showed you, we're able to work that ticket, understand, where we're going in terms of the business service map, and see that information. I can even drill in here and see any other tickets that are associated with that Exchange server. We can see the maintenance on it and things like that. Just, again, a huge amount of visibility into the system right from this incident ticket. Now, I showed you before how easy it is to, do things to the form. I actually want to pull that first name and last name off of here because it's not really relevant to this demonstration. Go ahead and save that. I could add anything I want on here. We can use, different rules and different assignment rules to get it to different people. I can just come through and work this ticket and say, this is actually an email incident. I'm going to keep it at a medium. We'll say priority is moderate. We're going to assign it to Jane Tech. And again, all these things are immediate, and they are things that we can report on later. Escalation is going to be normal. I'm going to click that button because after this incident's closed, I want to be able to create a knowledge article. Speaking of knowledge articles, let's go to change this email. I can search right off the short description of my incident ticket here. I can search the knowledge base, and it'll come up with, all the articles that have to do with email or with that issue. So you can search the knowledge base from a CI, an asset. You can search the knowledge base from the short description. You can do a lot of things to get knowledge information in front of people, and we can really build out our knowledge articles such that, we can link out to other areas. We can link out to other articles. We can even put, video in here and set it up such that, people can see a great troubleshooting video right away, and that video could be embedded here. We could link out to it, those types of things. And people can, in our knowledge articles, leave feedback, say, something like great video, and say, I think it's a 4-star article and it was helpful, those types of things, all while they're watching this. And what I can also do is I can attach that article to the incident. And, by doing that, I can send that out in an email, or I can have it here for everybody else to use. And you can see as I move through here, I'm able to add information, send comments to people. Please see attached knowledge. And, say, just for my work notes, I say something that looks like a bigger issue. That's just for the people on the team. And I'm going to try to spell that correctly this time. And I can go ahead and update that and move it through the system. We can have, whatever escalations we want on there. And again, we have notifications built off that. We can see different parts of it. We can see the time worked on here. Right now, that's not active. I haven't actually set that part up. Incidents by the same caller. Again, just a huge amount of information that allows us to work the ticket and have, all the information we need to be able to solve that ticket and be able to move it through the system. We can also escalate that ticket to a problem ticket if we want to go through kind of a master incident process, and we can create change requests off of tickets as well and go through a change process. And it's easy as, taking this ticket, this Joe employee email, I can come up here and say, I want to create a change ticket built off of this. And we can have any kind of change we want, type changes like standard, normal, and emergency. And on this change, we're going to be able to ask for approval from, approver groups that we've already put in the system, and just walk through a change process that is ITIL-based, that is, compliant to what we want to achieve with that, and that also is going to allow us to, see a trail of the activity. And, say you've got an auditor coming through saying you have a change process. Say, as a matter of fact, I do. Here's what it is. We use ServiceNow. And, I'll give you an example of whatever change you want. You can see, every piece of activity going on with that change. Right now we just have the one created here. We can come in here and show them all the activity around a change in a calendar or a list view. So, as you can see, ServiceNow Express offers a significant amount of functionality in a very small package. And we haven't even touched on the ability to create different streams of work for different lines of business. We can come in and create tables, processes, and forms for other groups like HR, for facilities, for, even if we wanted to create marketing requests, we have a group that does that and using ServiceNow Express. So a full-featured package. I encourage you to get on our demo system as well as read our documentation and get on our community as well. So let me pop back, and that was our look at the product. I can take any additional questions that we might want, and I'll also turn it over to you, Chris.
Yes. Wally, I want to thank you so much for participating with us once again. I want to thank Christina for working with our marketing team and managing the whole WebEx for us and all the process around that. Really want to reach out to people and let you guys know what our experience with ServiceNow, and I've been doing this for a long time with other ITSM companies, is the big difference is really the culture of the company with ServiceNow. They're really all about, hopefully you've seen a more Amazon-like experience, and that's what the company spends a tremendous amount of money and working on the user experience side. What might be a good idea is that we'll be doing a follow-up just to reach out from our marketing team, but the user groups in our experience, in my experience personally, the ServiceNow user groups are all about the users and they're run by the users. And if you really want to, get a better feeling, that's a great place to reach out because it's really all about, collaborating with the clients and delivering. I want to thank everyone for participating today. Are there any other outstanding questions or anything out there, Christina, before we wrap up?
Nope, that is it, Chris. And just so everyone is aware, the webinar and corresponding PowerPoint will be posted to our website, insourcenow.com, next week. If you have any other questions or concerns, you could visit our website. And thank you so much again, Wally, for your time. You're welcome.
And I did see a couple more questions on the side here. I'm going to copy those, send them to you, Chris.
Okay.
And you can follow up, or you can actually see them in the QA there too. So you might want to reach out to Angela, Vito, and Shelley. They've got a couple of additional questions. If you can't answer them, send them my way. Okay.
Will do.
All right. Thanks, folks.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You too.
Bye now.